Good day everyone and welcome back to Not Longer Narratives. I don't know if Ange would have been sacked by the time I drop this, but I do have a couple things to say. So whether you're Ange in or Ange out, I'm confident that this video that you're about to watch, you're going to see where I'm coming from. And even though you might not agree with me totally, you see where I'm coming from. I'm not going to state whether I'm Ange in or Ange out. If this is your first time watching my video, you probably wouldn't know until I tell you, which I am going to say later down the video. But I don't want to state it because I don't want to chase anybody away, because I know once people hear, oh, someone is Angeing, they don't want to watch, they don't want to hear anything, or if they hear you're Ange out, they don't want to hear anything anymore. So I'm going to keep that until later and try to be as objective as possible. So the question here today is Ange really to blame? And what I'm here to talk about is why I sympathize with Ange Postecoglou. And somebody's going to tell me I'm crazy, because how would you tell me that a manager of 15th should be sympathized with? But hear me out. So, last summer, or let's go back to Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte, after he got top 4, we finished in top 4. Antonio Conte got Jet Spence, Clement Langlais, Bissouma, Richarlison, Udogie, who was loaned back to Udinese, and Fraser Forster. Of all the signings, only Perisic. He also got Perisic, by the way. He also got Perisic. So only Perisic was a starter, and I genuinely think that we saw the same thing happen to Ange last season. Last season, Ange got Archie Gray, Solanke, Odobe, Yang, who was loaned back, and Timo Werner. Of all these signings, the only starter was Solanke. I hope you see a pattern here. So we knew last season that our squad wasn't good enough, because although we did well for the first 10 games, over the remaining 28 games of the season, that's after the first 10 games, so if the season started game week 11, we'd have been 9th in the Premier League, and yet we went into the summer only adding Solanke to the starting 11. Some will say, oh, but Spurs shouldn't be 9th. Even if the season started at game week 11, that's not good enough. But I think everybody can admit that our attackers are not good enough. Last season we had attackers like Brennan Johnson, we had attackers like Richarlison, we had attackers like Kulusevski. Last season was absolutely awful. We had attackers like Timo Werner. Do you genuinely think that's good enough? And would you blame the manager for being 9th with a starting 11 like that, or with players like that, and yet the manager got nothing? I know that Ange has come out to say, oh, these players are my signings, but let's be real, this is this man's biggest job ever, his highest pay ever. He's not going to come out and talk against his board. If anything, him backing the board and taking all the bullets for the board is the reason why he's still in the job, because the board have seen managers who will not protect them, and they've finally found this gem who would, and they're willing to stick with him because of that. And even though this manager comes out to say these players are his, we know that even for the best of managers, they didn't get them the players they wanted. Like I said, out of all the players that Conte got in the summer, only Perisic was a starter. Udogie maybe could have broken into the team. Pedro Porro, who we didn't sign until January, not long before he left. So even for the best of managers in Conte, in Jose, they didn't get what they wanted. So why would Ange get what he wants? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, even though he comes out and he says, oh, he wanted the signing, Like, this is a manager that we're talking about, or that's we're talking about, challenging for the league this season. Why would he now go and be signing 18-year-old Achigre, Berval? Otto Bear and co. When he has been saying he wants to win the league this season. The first season, or that summer under Conte, we signed squad players under Conte that season, and I think the idea was that the season when we finished in the top 4, there wasn't enough depth. We signed squad players, and then we'll sign more established players next summer. But then Conte wasn't there to sit off. I think that right now they've signed squad players for Ange, and even though they've done that to him, signing squad players, that is in Odobe, in Achigri, in these players that we signed, he has still covered the board. So they want to keep him and hopefully back him, because like I said, he's irreplaceable. It's hard to find somebody that's going to be under siege for you and take all the blame for you. Even now that they've not, and this video I'm making it after the Leicester loss. So even now that they've not backed him signing wise, this manager has still like taken the blame for this board and said that they're working hard, they're doing their best. So it makes Ange sort of irreplaceable in the sides of the board, because not many people are willing to do that for you. So I think that the idea was to get the likes of Odobe and co, squad players, and then in the summer they get the main ones. So Solanke is basically Ange's Perisic for Conte, which was, like I said, the only starter in the team that he got. Now, in the January transfer window, under Conte, we got Kulu and Bentancur. And Kulu and Bentancur were absolutely fluke signings, because these were players that were out of favor in Juve, and we had just missed out on Luis Diaz. We needed bodies in, and Paratici had links to Juve, so we just went there and we got them. And by God's doing, it went well. Dragishin and Werner were Ange's Kulu and Bentancur. The difference is that this time around, these fluke signings didn't go well. And to make things worse, whether or not the manager is killing the players in this position, we're in this position now in January, whether or not the manager is killing the players, we're in this position. Because I don't think he's killing the players through his style. That's why I was seeing so many injuries. But that aside, whether or not he's killing players, this man has gotten zero help from the board. The closest thing to help they've given him is Kinski, and that is not enough. So if you're liking what you're hearing, please leave a like and subscribe. So yeah, back to the video. So they claim this is their guy, and they claim they're backing him, yet they do nothing to help him. They leave him there to rot. And people still want to blame this manager for not being successful. Basically, we want to leave him there until the fans call for his head. And yet, you tell the fans, you're not sacking him. Like, you're leaving him there, the fans are calling for his head, you're leaving him in a horrible position, you're not helping him, fans are calling for his head, and you're gaslighting the fans by telling the fans, you're not sacking him. And once again, Ange is the shield for the board. Because now, the fans are calling for Ange's head. And once he's sacked, the full focus will be on the board. Which is why they can't sack Ange. Because, or they don't want to sack Ange, or are hesitant to sack Ange, because if Ange goes, there's no more shield for them. And like I said, not many managers will put themselves in the firing line for the board. Do you get what I'm saying? Am I Ange out? Like I said, I wouldn't say it until now. Definitely I'm Ange out. But I do want to, or I made this video to sort of look at things from the other perspective, because as much as I understand that this manager is not good enough for this club, realistically speaking, have the board backed him enough? Because if last season, after 28 games, we were 9th, this season is a full season. We didn't improve, we barely improved the starting 11. We barely improved the squad because we signed a lot of young players that are still developing. So we basically came into this season with the exact same 11 as last season, except now we had a striker. And we didn't get players to create for the striker, we didn't get the number 6, we didn't get another left centre back. We didn't get the left back. We didn't even get the right back. Luckily, Spence came through. Do you get what I'm saying? So, regardless of the fact that I'm aware of all of this, like all these things I just said, I'm still Ange out, and I have my reasons for that. But like I said, I'm not blind to see that this manager has been home to dry by the board, and there are certain things that you can look at and say, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't understand that you're not performing well, but I wouldn't say it's totally your fault. And to those who want to say he signed Werner twice, and that has to be Ange, do you want to tell me that we've not seen managers in the past have to work with what they get at Tottenham Hotspur? Do you want to tell me that Conte wanted Clement Longley? Like, genuinely speaking, do you want to tell me that? Do you want to tell me that Jose wanted Joe Rodon? Like, do you get what I'm saying? So, Ange has been given Werner, and it's not exactly black and white. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And like I said, this is his highest paying job ever. This is the biggest job he has ever had and probably will ever have. So you have to see why this guy can't exactly throw a tantrum like Jose or Conte, because these are people with very high reputations. So at the end of the day, like I said, he wouldn't want to throw that away, and as a result of that, he has to deal with cards he's dealt, as sad and as frustrating as that may be for him. So yeah, this is me looking at things from a different perspective. And what's funny is, like I said, the manager comes out and says things like, I don't know what club signing means. When they asked him about club signings, when they were talking about how managers like Conte were talking about club signings, this was earlier in his tenure. He said, I would never approve of a signing that I didn't think was going to fit into the way we play. When the club appoint a senior manager, they give him the responsibility of charting a course. Then you need to give him players that will suit the way he wants to play. I think there's evidence so far with the players we've brought in that they've all made an impact, which shows there's a brief, and we're looking for players who will play the football and will fit into the system I want to play. I wouldn't have a massive say over signings at the academy level, and rightly so. If the club feels they identify someone with real potential for the future, then they should go about doing that. But yeah, basically, so I think from what you're seeing here, you can tell that players like Bagval, players like Archie Gray, players like Odobe are players for the future, not necessarily young and not necessarily for Ange. So going back to what I said, if you remove those signings from the players he got, so we remove Gray, we remove Odobe, we remove Young, Ange got Solanke and Timo Werner, and I likened Werner to Ange's own version of Longley. So it was a situation that he had to work with what he had. So yeah, that's just me playing devil's advocate and trying to see things from the perspective of those that are Ange in. I do understand it and I do see where you're coming from. Do I agree with you? No, I don't. But I do see sense in what you say, and I do see where you guys are coming from, like I said. But regardless of me seeing your point of view, I still think that there's more of a case that this manager should go than this manager staying. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you like what you heard, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on North London Narrative. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye bye.